Hi, I'm Ashina. I'm a co-leader for Seattle and Eastside Coffee Ups and an account manager for Ronsec Technologies, which means I'm a professional negotiator, which is why I'm here to talk about negotiating your next job. Because if you're in tech, you do that a lot. As in many fields, one of the few times you have an opportunity to get more money or better title or more responsibilities is when you change jobs, like Sarah. Now, hopefully this isn't forever the norm, but for now, it is. So let's talk about what that conversation looks like. By the end of this talk, you should know how to go into your initial conversation about your target salary and what else you can and should be asking for in that conversation. First, you should start with your market research. My market research reported that in order to have a good tech talk, I needed to have lots of cat pictures. But if you're like me and you actually don't like cats at all, the good news is I only have one more cat picture. So your first conversation is going to be with HR or recruiting, and they're going to want to talk about money. So make sure you're prepared for that conversation. Do research with companies like Glassdoor or PayScale to figure out what you should be making based on your skill set. Now, they're going to want to ask you what you're currently making. And I always recommend starting with, I'm currently making X, and then open to and flexible for their opportunity. This gives you the opportunity to sound like you are interested, make a lot of money, but are focused on the opportunity. The number is important because the first number stated is you're going to be your anchor bias. This is our tendency to focus on the first number and subsequent failure to adjust, even when that number is proven irrelevant. If you get stuck with an unfavorable bias, make sure you diffuse it. State clearly that number is unacceptable, and there's no way you can meet them in the middle. But don't take this to mean you should lie or bluff or give them an ultimatum but if it's really not true, you need to tell them. The conversation you're having with HR is not a negotiation. They are taking information that will either qualify you or disqualify you for the job. So if you do have flexibility, that's a good reason to tell them that so that you don't automatically disqualify the job. Now, they may circle back and ask you what specifically you're making. So make sure in your response, you don't just say your base salary. You include your entire compensation plan. That would look like a great 401k plan, really awesome health benefits. It could be coming to conferences 4 times a year. Whatever it is, it matters. By stating just your base salary, if there's lots of other important factors, you could be crippling your negotiation by putting yourself in the wrong pay band. Then you can't get that back. Now, hopefully, you're interviewing with a company that recognizes that getting paid market rate or above will help retain you, and this isn't something you have to worry about. But let's talk about other things you might talk about. Did you know that a signing bonus often comes from an entirely different budget than your salary? So even though it shouldn't replace your salary that they can't give you since it's not annual, saying something like, it would help me make a decision if you gave me a signing bonus is really easy. And in fact, most companies have that ability, and of course not all can, but unless they're a giant corporation, their offer probably won't start with a signing bonus. And why not ask for it? In my current job, I just said the words, do you ever offer signing bonuses? And my boss said, I don't know, no one's ever asked me that before. Long story long, I got a signing bonus. Now, they will probably ask you what number you want, so be prepared for that. So the last thing I have time to talk about is your title. And while you may not care about your title, and I don't care about my title, the reality is your title does matter, and not just because it might get you more respect among other engineers, but it definitely helps in your forward progression in your career goals. Now, a fluffy title won't help you. Making sure that your title is commensurate with your job duties is just as important as making sure you're getting paid market rate. And often they go hand in hand. If you're interviewing for a more senior title, then often you get put in a different pay bracket. Now, your title also gives you options for new promotions and different raises, but labeling yourself is important. You've earned it, so label yourself the way society wants you to. And it helps your recruiter out to know where you really stand. Now, as promised, my last cat meme and second to last slide. But seriously, just like all the other things, it never hurts to ask for the title, and while they may not be able to give it to you, not asking the question is leaving potential forward momentum off the table by not asking. So thanks so much for being here. Thanks, Ronsec, for letting me be here and supporting me, and I hope I make negotiating easier for you.